Well, today I'm going to talk about Northern Territory skilled visa, which are 190 and 491. And you all know about like 190 is state nomination visa, while 491 is a 5 years temporary visa. But after 3 years, then you can lose 191 permanent visa. But for these things, you have to satisfy some requirement for 491. If you don't live up to the 491 requirement at least for 3 years, then your 191 will be turned down, means turned, it will be refused. Well, the general standard of home affairs, which also need to require for the Northern Territory skill visa, that is age requirement, skill assessment, English, and point system. You can see the minimum age you have to be under 45 years at the time of nomination. Skill assessment, you also need to get your skill assessment, positive skill assessment outcome from the suitable assessing bodies. And your English, you have to minimum six each band, or the more your English is higher chance to get called up or nominated, because it will help to score, to make your score high. Because minimum six, there's no score. Minimum proficient or equivalent seven means 10 points, and minimum 8 if you got superior English, that is 8, then you will get 20 points. As I told before, that minimum migration that you point that for EOI is 65. The higher you have, a more point, then you have more chances to get invited. In that is the, they will just weigh up the on base the like UI point. But if it is an entry level, this is just entry points, so you are only qualified. So it is not some, even the very demanded occupation, you may get chances to get invited, but most of the case, the low score is not so good for to get invited. And it is also said that in this is all the standard, the criteria that you have to meet up to lose a UI. But to get to lose a ROI for the Northern Territory, registration of interest, it is some state asks to lose a ROI while other don't ask. So you have to meet up the Northern Territory on its requirement as well. And if there is two types of ROI, one is those who are already have been living in Australia or onshore, and those who want apply from the outside of Australia, or who have been staying away from the Australia, stay out of the Australia, so they also are eligible. So and the most both candidate, whether they are living in Australia or they are out of Australia. But if you are living in Australia, I mean, you have to must live in Northern Territory, Australia, not other state. Other state, you are not eligible to lodge interstate nomination, RY for Northern Territory. So you must be living in Northern Territory. Otherwise, if you live in Australia but not in Northern Territory, you might not get eligible for RY. Commitment to live Northern Territories, yes, definitely you also need to you have to show up your commitment, that why you are choosing up the, like, pick up the Northern Territory, what you have a qualification, what you have a skill, and what do you know about your community, what your like reason, and if you have a family bond or cultural bond, why you really picking up those things, what the main things that you really appeal to get set down to make you settle down in this area. So you have to write some your own, the view about to the Northern Territory, government. And the other thing is occupation. Although there are many occupation, which are set out in the Home Affairs is occupation list, but on top of that, you also, if your occupation is not listed out in the NTO-MOL, then you are not current. There is a current occupation list, and the offshore, for the offshore NTO-MOL Northern Territory occupation list. So this is the old occupation list that is eligible for the onshore one, and this is for the anti-OML for the offshore. So if your occupation is not found in the occupation list, then you may not eligible. You are not eligible even your occupation set out in Home Affairs occupation list. The final thing is, while you are choosing to settle down in the Northern Territory, then this is the minimum cost that you have to be secure or show off by property, bank balance, whatever, for this individual applicant for 35K, and applicant with a partner 50K, applicant with a one child 60K, and applicant with a two child 65K. And it is either deposit or your valuation will be fine. And so it is another criteria. Today I'm only going to talk about the onshore clients. So what is the additional criteria for onshore who are already living or studying in the Northern Territory? So first of all, what you need to know is if you are dependent, have been living other than NT, or they are living in other state, then you are not eligible. So you have to already call up them to migrate to NT before you are lodging ROI. And the other thing is that so if they are in student visa, it is okay. If if your dependent, like your children, are studying in other state, it is okay if they have not completed their education. And the final thing is, if you already lodge 489 and 491 visa, then now you are just want to change to 190, then you are not eligible. So for example, some of the student who lodged 491 without thinking, when they got invited, then later they change mind because they saw there are lots of seats still available and their score is well enough to be called off. But even you have changed your mind, once you lose 491, then you are no longer eligible for this financial year. So you have to wait another financial year to lose 190. So what is the additional criteria for the onshore? There is the onshore also break down into two category. One is eligible anti-graduate, and the other one is other anti-graduate. The what is the anti-graduate and other anti-graduate mean? For onshore they can lodge 190 and 491 both, but for offshore they only eligible for 491. I will talk it later other video. So eligible anti-graduate means you have to four semester, either diploma, master, bachelor. Minimum first semester you have to single tertiary course. So minimum you have to four semester you have to study, and it should not be counted as a like if you studied 1 years diploma and 1 years master like graduate, it will not satisfy. You have to single tertiary course, one full degree, and that should be 4 semester or 2 years, 96 weeks, 16 months should be complete. That means your full degree have studied there. If you study less than any degree, then you are not eligible. So if you study 1 semester in other than like NT, and if you go NT, then you will not be eligible. But if you study bachelor degree, which is 4 years, 3 years, and if you study still 1 years other state, because bachelor is more than 2 years, so you are still eligible for bachelor degree. But you may not eligible for diploma and master degree. You have to know about it, okay? And the other thing is that if you are going to lodge 485 visa once you graduated from the NT, then be careful. You have to at least 6 months you have to live into Northern Territory prior to lodge the 485 visa, unless if you are if you were sometimes some candidate, some students whose age is going to be turned up to 45 and some age problem 35, that time you are eligible. You shouldn't live to 6 months, you shouldn't wait 6 months, you can immediately lose your 485 visa. And you also need to show that when you applying 190, one criteria is 2 years, that is first semester. The other criteria is that if you have not problem with the 35 years age, then 6 months you have been working or living there prior to laws 485 visa. And the other final thing is you also need to show you how much you are going to likely to get like a job that's related to your occupation or study. Then if you just like how many jobs you already source out or look out in, like a job related website or LinkedIn, and then other kind of job search website. And then if you find, you just need to show up them that how many, like you'll get a interview, called up for the interview, how many like job you already turned down or refused, why it is refused. You also need to show like your resource and like the commitment, to get a job, to find out job. So the second thing is like 491, who graduated from NT. First one is 190. For 491, you also need to satisfy the first criteria, first semester and one single tertiary course, or a set of nested tertiary course, or set of nested tertiary. What is a set of nested tertiary course mean? Nested tertiary course means if you graduate certificate, graduate diploma, then if you do master degree 2 years, it's okay, but the course should be not from the another branches. It should be, the foundation degree should be based on the foundation degree. Should not be the foundation course. The foundation course also need to be like the base of the like higher course. That is that what it is saying to means the foundation course should not be the completely different from the like the top course, that is the current course degree. And the other thing is you also need to show that your effort to get a find out job in your own occupation, and how many jobs you already seek out from using seek, job, job website portal or LinkedIn or any other. Maybe there are many lots of workforce, and you can show up then how many jobs you already apply, how many interview you already got, how many application interview you have to be turned down, and how many positive feedback that you have got. You also need to show up these things to the, later one later you have to also show this kind of paperwork, the research paper. And if you go to the other pathway, this is an anti-graduate pathway. I'm going to describe other anti-resident pathway and what is the minimum eligibility. So the first eligibility is the who are the really coming under this other anti-graduate residents, means those who are not studying in the anti-graduate but who already completed their degree from other state, or as well as those who are coming here in 482, 407, and 457, and 4I2, and any other temporary visa. And then if they really want to go to 485, or after completed their degree in other state, then these people also able to lodge the other anti-resident pathway system 190 and 491. But their first requirement is that at least they have to live 2 years before lodging the ROI, and their dependents should not live into other state. And what is the other criteria is that they also need to show that this job will be available next 12 months, what kind of job they are doing, and this job will be continue another 12 months or another year. So first thing is that they have been living 2 years. Their dependents should not live in other state. They have been working at least 2 years this job, and this job will be available another 1 year. But there is some concession for eligibility subclass 491 for other new anti-resident. The criteria are there. They have not lived to 2 years. They only need to live for 491 12 months or 1 year, and they should not work last 2 years for like a 190. They only need to work 6 months consecutive month. But the both 491 and 190, they need to show this job is available for another 12 months, and that is the criteria for 491 as compared with the 190. So as compared to for 190, 49 was more lenient and more easy. Even you have a less number of job, less number of years of job, it is okay, because in 190 there is a minimum 2 years you have been working job, but in 191 only 6 months, and it is not so hard to get job in 6 months. And only 1 year you have to live in 491, while 190 you have been live at least 2 years. There is some other things that if you have the additional requirement, they also ask that at least 12 months, and you have to the salary is also market salary, because if you are working manager level, your job payment is also the manager level. If you are in the lower level, you then only it is acceptable if you have a low amount of payment. So the salary, market salary, yours. So you, if you have really working like a senior manager level, and if you get paid very less, then you should not be eligible that time. So you also need to research about it. But if you already have a like 482 visa, 457 visa, 407 visa, 476 visa, those visa you have to also give the later that your company know about it. You already lost 491 visa or 190 visa, and they all are aware about all company where you have been working this related visa 482, 457, 467, 476, and all kind other kind 485 visa, and so they will know about it. So it will not confuse later. Not 485 only the sponsored visa. It only talk about 457, 482, 407, and 476. This sponsor kind of visa more, they are already invest so much amount to get you into their like business. So they also know about it. So later you will not be fight for fair work and other like uh, you shouldn't go like to get a justice. So you need to then also need to know about that you are going to lose, you already lose about those visa, and these letters need to submit there. So this all about like onshore additional onshore requirement for anti-graduate and another anti-residents. If you really want to know more about anything, you can contact us. You can just visit our website there. And I also like I also going to introduce and like roll out all information related skill student and other information. So if you really love this video, those kind of information, then like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.